It's your girl Michelle. Different setting because I've not been home for a while, but I feel like I haven't been on here to talk about myself for a while. And per usual, let's appreciate the sun and how beautiful it looks on my skin. I got my hat on because my hair is super dirty, as you can tell. Anyways. Let's get straight to what I'm about to talk about, which is my spiritual life. So where do I begin? For a long time, a very long time, since I was a teenager, I have always known, actually not a teenager, I think 9, I have always known that there is God and then there's like spirits. And coming from my African background, when you hear about spirits, you're like, I don't wanna mess with that. And I'm not even gonna get into the details of that. You already know what I mean. But as I get older and my intuition has been getting better and improving, oh my God, the sun is going away. Please stay, you're so beautiful. Anyways. As my intuition is improving, I do realize that there are spirit guides. And I used to be like, no, I don't want to look into that. But sometime around COVID, I kind of thought about it. When I saw it on TikTok, I saw people doing like past life regressions and meditations on like Akashic records. I tried to do all that stuff, but all of that stuff would just put me straight to sleep. But it wasn't until recently I had a conversation with my partner, and he was just talking about his own experiences with like spirituality, which in a sense kind of gave me more courage to embrace my own path with spirituality. But I've just always been afraid to explore the unknown, the spiritual realm, what it means. And my mind always puts me in a position where I'm like second guessing. Like I think about it, I'm like, wait, that's just my thoughts. That's not, God or a spiritual thing like getting into my mind. But this past 2 weeks, I have been more tapped in than I've ever been tapped in my life. And I think it's because I told myself there's nothing to be afraid of, and I just decided to be more open. So I did a hypnosis meditation on YouTube, and I had my first past life regression meditation that worked. Basically, I think the best way to before I say the details, because if I tell you the details of who I was, what I did, you can easily go on Google, look it up, and find this person easily. But the only thing I'm gonna give out is the name Samora. So when I asked, I don't know if it's God, I don't know if it's a spirit guides, my higher self, whatever you want to call it, what is my real name? They said Samora. And I really thought I made it up in my mind. But I asked more questions, it gave me more details, I did research, and I figured out everything, and I was just like, oh my God. Like the similarities of my current life and my past life, it's just too aligned for it not to be real. And then 2 nights ago, I prayed and I did another meditation. I asked my spirit guides about what is my purpose. They wouldn't tell me what my purpose was, but one thing that they told me is I'm on the right path, and to stop being afraid, let go of fear, and they are always with me in my journey. And the purpose of being on earth is to have lessons. And then the next day, I had somebody call me And to summarize it, they made me realize that I need to work on forgiveness. And I've met a couple people, I think 2 people in my life, that have told me that I really need to work on forgiveness. It's really easy for me to be vengeful, or just be like, I'm gonna get my lick back, like those kind of things. It's so easy for me to do that. And most of the time, I actually do stuff like that. Or I just take somebody out of my life completely because I'm like, I don't want to face how painful it is to have tough conversations. I don't want to face the fact that somebody truly hurt me and it put me in a bad position. Like, I don't want to face the uncomfortability of just accepting that someone did something that I did not like, or they just didn't meet the expectations I had, or they had ill intentions, like whatever it is. It's so easy for me to either cut off or work on getting the lick back and be like, bet. But then after having that experience with my spirit guides, one of the lessons I need to learn in this lifetime, in this avatar that I have, is forgiveness. And for so long, I couldn't stomach, not for so long, because this happened 2 days ago, I couldn't stomach that forgiveness is something that I have to do, even if I don't like it, even though it puts me into tears. But right at this moment, I am actively choosing, and I've already made the contact to forgive. I know so many people that are like, yeah, I just forgive and forget. Like, people do me wrong and I don't even care. And sometimes I know that it's so naive, but I just love people and I just forgive and I go on with my life. But I genuinely struggle with that. I'm like, hey, this relationship don't work, move on to the next. Seriously, it's so easy for me to do that. Just cut it off, meet new people, make new friends, or meet new coworkers, or whatever it is, just to do with relationships. It's so easy for me to do that. But now I'm realizing I can't do that. I can't do that. Like, I need to work on that. So going back to spirit guides and intuition and my past life regression, and finding out who I was in the past life. And funny enough, it wasn't even that long ago. Like, it was literally in the 80s, 1980s. I feel like when people talk about past life regressions, they talk about their life back in the 1940s, 18 something, or 1200s. Mine was literally just 1980s. That is so recent. And I looked up everything to do with that avatar. Remember, we're just consciousness, and we just choose bodies to come here and learn to help our soul grow. So my soul chose that avatar in the 80s. Unfortunately, it passed away way too soon, I think a little too early. But then in this lifetime, I have my own lessons to learn. And I think that forgiveness. If you struggle with forgiveness, you know how hard it is for me too. And I know how hard it is for you. But forgiveness is one of the first steps to figuring out what my authentic path is. All right. Thanks for watching, and we'll be in touch soon.